be a successful coach again at this stage. But I do like John Gruden a lot. But that's
not a fit for the Bucs.
No, well, of course not the Buccaneers. But speaking of tight ends, there's a guy we mentioned before the break. There's a guy that we've been talking about being a fit for the Buccaneers for a long time because it seemingly felt like he was on his way out where he was for a long time, although ended up sticking around there for many years. And we're talking about David Njoku, who yesterday said, or the day before said he's not coming back to Cleveland. He will not go back to play for the Browns again. And we had somebody text in yesterday about David Njoku being a free agent. And he's a guy that I remember when he was coming out in the draft, I liked David Njoku a lot. And I always thought, was a dynamic tight end and the kind of guy that we could use around here. I wonder at his age if he's still that guy. Like,
Hasn't hit 30. He's about to hit 30.
Yeah, but he's been in the league for a long time.
Yeah, nine seasons now.
He was a young guy when he came into the league. Obviously, I mean, if you're talking about being less than 30 and being in the league for 9 years, and his numbers, they've been good. Last year, obviously, dealt with some injuries. Only played in 12 games. Only ended up with 33 receptions on the season, but only 500 yards the season before that. Nearly 900 the year before that.
That was his best season. 2023 was a great season for him. Over 80 receptions, almost 900 yards. He got in the end zone six times. So 2023 was his best season, and that's where he was ascending. But injuries, he hasn't been able to play in complete seasons the last 2 years. But the price tag is what I look at, and I think upside. I mean, I know we looked at Hassan Reddick on the other side of the ball last year as a guy with low risk, high reward. And I feel like David Njoku would go into that same category.
Probably. I think that he could probably be had without spending a ton of money at this stage of his career. I just wonder, like, is he that much of an upgrade over a guy like Cade Otton
I think
at this
so.
stage of his career?
I do. I think so.
I just don't know. I don't know that he has that much left in the tank. I would love to see it, right? Like, I'm not going to be angry about it if the Bucs go sign David Njoku, but I'm also not going to be as excited about it as I would have been a few years ago, right? I don't know that he's that much of an upgrade. I don't know if he's that much more dynamic. It's crazy because the guy that kind of looks like that kind of an upgrade and obviously has experience with our new offensive coordinator and Zach Robinson is Kyle Pitts, but he's a guy that I think is completely opposite of what you said about David Njoku, right? Low risk, high reward. I almost feel like it's almost completely opposite when it comes to Kyle Pitts. I feel like there is a high level of risk, and the reward could be high, but it also could be what we've seen for a lot of years from Kyle Pitts, which is just not enough.
If the Buccaneers didn't do much to improve their offense and just focused on defense this offseason, I would be completely fine with it.
I would almost prefer it.
Right.
Like that's what we said about the draft last year was like, go and draft nothing but defensive players. And then they went with a wide receiver in the first round. And I think Emeka Egbuka is going to be very good here. I'm not I know he had a down second half of the year compared to the first half of the year, but I like Emeka Egbuka a lot. But I feel the same way this year. The defense has to be such a priority, both in free agency and the draft, that I couldn't agree with you more. I almost prefer they just focus on the defensive side of the ball.
And if there was one position I would like to upgrade, and I like Cade Otton, but I want more, as you say, a dynamic tight end. But aside from that, I'm comfortable with the backfield, and I'm comfortable with any pieces they'll be able to pick up behind Bucky Irving. I know that it looks like, Rachaad White's out of here. But
Sean Tucker's a free agent too.
Yeah.
So you've basically got one running back right now.
And I feel comfortable that whoever they put behind Bucky, they'll be able to find that, whether it's in the draft or whether it's a free agent piece that they'll be able to bring in. I think they'll be able to find that. Or if it's Sean Tucker himself.
A lot of free agent running backs this year.
Yeah. So that I'm not concerned about. You can find those. That's why the value of the position has gone down, even though it made a bit of a comeback. It's gone down. I would like to see them, as long as the offensive line comes back healthy, I trust that this offense will get back on track.
I think running back needs to be more of a focus, though, I really do. I would suggest, like I said, and prefer you spend almost all of your assets on the defensive side of the football. But I'm also concerned with Bucky Irving, who couldn't get through last year healthy, right?
Then what type of running back are you looking for?
I'm looking for somebody that can be a 1B, right?
Would you look at like a Breece Hall, who is a 1A? Would you look at a Breece Hall?
I don't know.
That's going to be a lot of money.
Yeah,
I mean, it's going to be money.
I'm
but
trying
if
to think
you want,
if he makes sense from a financial standpoint. The guy who I don't think makes as much as Brees Hall, but I think makes a ton of sense and is a perfect, I think, complement to Bucky Irving is Tyler Algier.
yeah,
And
absolutely.
another guy with experience with Zach Robinson.
I would love that.
Yeah. He's kicked our ass so many times. It'd be nice to have him on the other side kicking Atlanta's ass for once.
And guys like that, you're going to find those guys. They're out there, and they're not going to break the bank. So that's why it doesn't concern me as much as go focus on defense. Go look at the free agents that are available on the defensive side of the football and go get it.